What's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope everyone is well tonight. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're probably not. You're probably still wallowing in your sorrows after last night's effort versus the Cardinals, and I just find myself in a similar position that I find myself in, which seems like every year, and I wanted to speak on it just a little bit. Last night I think we are down 19-7, maybe 22-7, and I started, hopping around in some of the, Cowboys vlogs, Vok Lombardi, Law Nation, uh, these kind of guys, and getting in the chat and the comment section, and a lot of people were speaking to the frustrations of what was happening about, I don't know, midway through the third quarter yesterday. And the response, is always from these YouTube guys or these vloggers, like, and a lot of the folks in the chat, like, oh, y'all are haters, you're bad fans, you're quitters. I can't believe y'all are quitting in the third quarter. And, it's so frustrating to see that and to hear that, and to not have the ability to be critical of what was really a shit-tastic performance. Like, this was a team that was on a roll and was going into this game. It was a prove it game. I mean, the talk all week from the Cowboys, and that's what it was talk, was this is a playoff environment. This is a playoff atmosphere. We're going to bring it. We're healthy. We're going. They're going up against a team that is viewed as one of the elite teams in the NFL. But the Cardinals been riding a losing streak. They're at Dallas, and they just did not perform. The Cowboys did not perform, and I find myself in that position all the time that I'm being critical, and I get this response of, "You're not a fan. You're not a real fan." Well, the reason I'm being critical is because I am a fan, and I'm tired of seeing the same thing, and I'll just use the Kellen Moore era, but every time we play an elite opponent, all right, elite. So I don't mean the Chargers. The Chargers are a good team, all right, but they're not an elite team this year, or neither are the Patriots this year. The Saints this year, they're not elite. When we play an elite team, and those elite teams this year, Chiefs, uh, uh, Packers, Cardinals now, I guess, Rams, even though, yes, they've all had their troubles, but that's that elite group. And I'll throw the Titans in there because they keep winning. But when we play those teams, we don't perform. And it's not just that we lose, it's that we literally don't perform at the same level we do against other teams. You can go back to 2019. Dallas started off on a roll, 3-0. First year with Kellen Moore. New Dak. Dak is rolling. We're blowing teams out. And then we run into the Saints. We run for 45 yards and we score 10 points. And we lose 12-10. The next week, the Packers get out on us like 24-0, killing us. We end up, playing comeback mode all game, score some points, eventually lose, I think 34-24, and we're blaming the refs when it's over. Oh, we had a chance if it wasn't for the refs. We put ourselves in that position. The only other elite team we played in 2019 on the road at New England, we scored 9 points. Why can't we score, or why doesn't our offense work when we play these type of teams? This year it seemed like we had it figured out. Week one, we played good against Tampa. We still couldn't run the football, but we played good against Tampa. I think a lot of people thought, like, maybe we're turning the corner. Maybe Dak is turning the corner. We lost, and that's okay. Um, Only other two elite teams, Kansas City. We laid an egg, man. We were terrible. We were bad on offense. Um, and then the Cardinals. We wet the bed yesterday. It was a poor performance. And if you want to dishwash it and call it something else, you're wrong. It was bad. We ran our backs. Hell, the whole team, including Dak, who had 25 rushing yards, we ran for 45 yards. We have I think we still have the highest paid running back in the NFL. We have Tony Pollard, who I think many consider one of the most dynamic backups in the league. And we have an offensive line that is supposed to be elite. And that yesterday was completely healthy. And our backs run 12 carries, 25 yards. Pollard and Zeke. 12 carries, 25 yards. Oh, but the refs, the penalties. Well, we are holding, okay? The fumble at the end, don't put yourself in a position. Don't be down 25 to 7 or 22 to 7 or whatever it was, with no timeouts. Secondly, this ref talk, go pull for another team. And I guarantee you, if you pull for another team, every team thinks the refs are against them. Every team experiences bad calls. Oh, it wasn't fair. They didn't call it right. Why did they call holding on them and they didn't call it, or call holding on us and they didn't call it on them? Every single team. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. We had 7 points through 3.5 quarters. and like I said, I don't understand why we can't run the football, and why is it not okay for a fan to ask that question? And I think what I'll end with is this. You take into account all those games I mentioned in 2019, the games this year, you watch yesterday, you see our running backs, you see our offensive line, you see our defense trying to contain a mobile elite quarterback. You see our secondary, our elite corner, Trayvon Diggs get beat on a double move when he didn't even. I don't watch that play. You know what? I'm not going to do it. I was going to show you the play where AJ Green torched Trayvon Diggs on a double move, but what I am asking myself is why is Diggs jumping the stop route when you can clearly see he doesn't have underneath coverage on that. There's another defender, is Curse, rolling to the flat already. So somebody else has the flat. Diggs has deep third. It's because he's hunting a pick, okay? And I get it. I get it. But at some point, the criticism of Diggs, he does give up a ton of yards. He gives up a big play every game. He is immensely talented. But at some point, the criticism is real. Man, you can't keep, making mistakes and be okay. But what I want to get back to with the team as a whole, your stars, okay? Your stars. Who do you trust? And this is talking about when you get to the playoffs. When you get to the playoffs this year, who do you trust? Who do you trust? And why do you trust them? All right. Do you trust our offensive line? Do you trust them? They haven't proven as of yet to be dominant. They haven't proven as of yet that they can't play a game without making mistakes. They they have not run blocked recently. Pass protection not as bad as it used to be, but I'm left grasping to trust that group. Do you trust Dak? I love Dak, and I think we can win a Super Bowl with Dak. but it is going to take a collective effort of achievement. Like it's not going to be just Dak and we win a Super Bowl. That's not going to work. So what I'll ask you is, do you trust current Dak? If you watch the games, do you trust Dak? Because he's not right. Something is off. Now it may be the complementary pieces that are making Dak be a little off. But do you trust him? Do you trust Zeke? Do you trust Pollard? Do you trust our wide receivers? Because everyone in that group has, in some form or another, not performed as they should. And then here's another glaring issue. You know, even with our pass rush, which I think we have a near close to elite pass rush. All right. But the thing is, those elite pass rushers are awesome and they look so good against, guys like Heineke and uh, Glennon and Taysom Hill, and especially when you've got a lead. But, in a tight game or when you're losing and you can't pin your ears and you can't rush every play and you're playing elite quarterbacks that are going to get rid of the ball before you can get to them anyway, you know, you have to have that secondary. And I think we have an elite corner in Diggs despite his mistakes. But as an offensive team, when I'm in the huddle or I'm planning for this game and I'm saying, man, who are we going at? Who are we going to attack? Let me tell you who. Who are we going to attack? Who do we go at? Is number 30 is Anthony Brown, and it's a problem. Like teams will attack Anthony Brown all day long, and they continue to attack Anthony Brown all day long. I think Anthony Brown has been at times a good corner, but we have to address coverage on the other side. I don't know if it's Kelvin Joseph. I don't know if it's Jordan Lewis. Maybe you leave Anthony Brown there and you just take your chances. But he has got a target on his back. And teams aren't afraid to attack Diggs, as we saw yesterday, as we see just about every week when somebody beats him deep. Now, the picks are great. I love them, and I think they are game changers. I think he's a great corner, but he can't continue to get beat. So my thoughts, I think yesterday was truly a monumental letdown. Um, we had an opportunity to at least solidify our standing as a 2 seed, and still give ourselves a chance to be a 1 seed. Instead, we slipped. I believe we're down to 4 now, which potentially gives us the ability to host one playoff game, possibly, probably against the Cardinals again. But we let a gigantic opportunity slip, or I don't even say we. I don't play for the Cowboys, but they let a giant opportunity slip through their fingers. Fully healthy, fully healthy. The team was ready to go, and I don't think the Cardinals really are a better team. I honestly, truly, I don't understand it. Um, but at the same time, this is what we've come accustomed to seeing. And don't call me out. Don't call me wrong for stating the obvious. And I'll continue to state the obvious until they do something different. If you don't state that, if you don't point that out, then you're watching the season with blinders on. You're watching things unfold, and you don't have any perspective. So anyhow, that's all I got to say. This is strictly aimed at Cowboys fans, and very, very few people will watch this with any interest but just immensely frustrated and don't understand. And I'll end with this. I think my biggest source of frustration is their inability to run the football. Like, it's I don't understand it. And what I keep coming to, and I hate to come to this, is I just am left to wonder. You continually see those stacked boxes, and teams just, you know, umbrellaing us on defense, and we can't run the football against a stacked box. Our guys can't block. Guys are constantly getting, grabbed in the backfield, trying to make a guy miss in the backfield, and at the same time, all we're doing is throwing check downs and underneath routes. We're not that big play offense anymore, and I hate it. But until we prove it otherwise, I think Denver exposed us, and Denver showed the formula to beat us. And until Kellen Moore, comes up with something different, I think everybody's just going to continue to do the same thing. So that's where we are. I don't think this team can't not. I think they can win. I think this team has the pieces and the players to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. But until they perform like it, I'm not going to act like that's what's going to happen. And for the folks that continue to do that, I guess you can, and you can think you're a better fan, but I disagree. Anyway, appreciate watching. Keep it real. I'm out.